we're not going to be able to keep it to an hour if.
Hands on helmets. 10 seconds.
Welcome. I'm Chris McKean.
And I'm Andy Kiner.
We're all about cross-country racing, and usually it starts with 10 seconds.
Not in Iowa. In Iowa, it starts with hands-on helmets.
Yay. What a show that we have not planned for, buddy. I feel like
everybody. Nobody will know if you don't tell them.
Every week I'm getting on Kiner time and zero planning, except for the 2 minutes before the show. But we got a little held up at work tonight, and then we had conflict last. So, yeah.
I literally just rolled in.
Yeah.
Came straight downstairs. So,
yeah.
But, man, what a first round, huh?
Oh, it was a busy one. I don't think I got to travel within 25 feet of scoring, so it was busy. Which
I didn't get much more than that, to be honest with you. At least I got good at scoring.
Yeah. Overall, I felt like it was a good day, good race, good weather.
You say overall, you think?
Yeah.
Holy cow. I'm going to jump right into it and say, I know it was a good day. Yeah. We had hardly any issues whatsoever. We had perfect weather. Mm-hmm. Even though a couple people found some sinkholes in the parking, it was still, I think we pulled maybe a half a dozen,
Yeah.
On Sunday, everybody pretty much drove right. Well, they did on Sunday. I think everybody, for the most part, drove right out. So, man, racing was perfect. The very first race of the year, all the starts were perfect. It was a dang good weekend, I think.
Yeah, I was a little concerned with the adults.
Oh, the start?
The start of the adults, just because I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for you to start each row. I was getting a little nervous looking at times and thought we were cutting it close, but felt like we finished at the right time.
I don't feel like we could have got them started, honestly, any sooner. It was a couple of them actually started, I thought, almost too quick, but I knew I had the guys to tell me if something was going wrong, so. Mm-hmm. I did hear someone say about you were getting worried, and I was like, oh man, how can I go faster? It's going through my head as we're going, So
yeah, I think some of those early classes, it was like a minute 10, a minute 5. I was like, oh man, we got to get moving.
Yep. Unfortunately, not to jump ahead of the game, but Paul and I was talking quite a bit last night. We got some work to do at Corden. We're both kind of worried about the start and how we're going backwards this time. And so we got to get some stuff figured out there. Speaking of starting areas, so. But man, unbelievable. I mean, I thought probably should start at the beginning, but I thought the registration thing was going pretty good. I know there was a good line there, but I don't think it was half as long as it was last year. And I can only assume that has to do with all the work, you guys have put in with the questionnaire and everything. So
yeah, I think on Friday night we got like 110 racers in, which is wonderful. But everybody comes on Saturday, and we kind of had some hiccups with the youth trying to get them entered in, and kind of skipped ahead of the line. But overall, those registration girls, Tina, Tracy Green, Kim was in there, your wife Tracy Kiner. It's a group effort to get everybody in, and it felt like everything was going smooth. So, but can't push the questionnaires enough. I mean, they're still out there. I haven't shut them off. If you fill out a questionnaire, which I was trying to push it a lot on Friday, I know the girls they're busy and just trying to get everybody through the line on Saturday, and didn't get to tell everybody had to fill out a form.
There's a good line there.
So
ignore that. Yeah, I thought it went pretty good though. Even like I said, even though there was a little bit longer line than what we truly wanted to have, I thought it still went good considering it's first year. And I don't think it was half as long the line was as it was the first race last year. So I think it really helped.
Once we get the youth AMA minor release forms all in our system, it'll go a lot faster. So yeah.
The only thing I noticed going through awards too, I know I'm fast forwarding here, but speaking of registration, I only seen one thing, and hopefully people will correct me if the wrong thing is on the the awards, but the only thing I seen that was I think Jackson Carroll still had Yamaha instead of a Can-Am is what was listed, but I don't know if that was on his side or our side, but that's the only thing that I seen. All the names appeared to be correct, and everything. So the towns, and so
okay.
I thought it was good on that part.
That's good feedback. Again, even if we are filling out those forms for the racers, they still need to look that over, and if something's not right, they need to correct it. And we did have another hiccup. We had in the adult session, somebody filled out a form in the A class, but they started B class, and that kind of hurt the overall scoring for B class as well as A class. So that had to be corrected. And it did. I think it reflected more in the B because everybody in the top three or third place was moved back to fourth place, if I remember right, because the person would have ended up third.
Yeah.
And it's hiccup. And we got to
go ahead.
And it's one of those where we got to stress that scoring's unofficial until we get it printed off. Yeah. And maybe we have you kind of stress that at the line as well, just because if you see Tracy there or Kim, they're sitting in a chair with a clipboard. They're doing the backup scoring, so we can make sure everybody gets scored appropriately. We had some hiccups. We had some people that weren't transponders weren't working at all. So we had to go back and rely on the backup scoring. But hopefully, I think I notified those that were bad. Hopefully, we'll get those corrected and they'll get new transponders before quartering.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't see too many issues at all like that. So I thought it was really good.
How was the television, the new display? I know you got some good feedback. You and I have talked about it offline. It was our first attempt live at it. We know I was testing it over the wintertime, and it truly was a last-minute decision to put the countdown clock. We weren't even going to use it this year, and it was kind of a last-minute, let's throw it up for the countdown, and it ended up on opposite corner of the TV and in the scoring tent. So we got that feedback. It was hard to look in both spots, so we'll get that corrected. Value the feedback. It was productive, and we're going to continue to make it better.
I think that's the big thing, I don't even know how to say this really, Chris, because you and I talked about this, but we, don't feel bad giving us feedback. You know what I mean?
No.
Even if it's bad, we need to hear it or else we can't fix it, because I'm just like you. I was amazed with that new TVs that you had, because I was standing, 20 feet away, and I could see it absolutely perfect. And I loved having the name on there, the class. My three things that I was looking at was the name, the class, and the position.
Yeah.
Because when people were coming through scoring, I think half of them were shocked that I realized their name. It's because I can read it all the time. But talking with people, which you and I both did, that we did get a lot of feedback. And I think what you and I kind of put everything together is that it appears like the way it's scanning, you're on top of it. Like by the time it scans you, you're like right there, So, we've already got a little game plan that we're working on. Hopefully we can get everything done by Corden. We know we can move some of it, but our little game plan that we've got, I think, it's going to take a little bit, but, I think we can at least put Band-Aids over it to make it work until we get it all done. So.
Yep, and it'll be one of those we're going to have to stress that, coming through scoring, we're going to have to slow down, because it'll be a little bit tighter if we're going to do what we're going to do to make that display for them those racers kind of see it off in the distance a little more.
Yeah.
So.
And man, I should save that for the What's Bugging Andy, but there's so many people, youth and adults, slow down the way they should. I was really amazed at like some of the kids really, really doing a good job. And the same with the adults. But man, I'll call it the dirty dozen that just seems like they will not slow down at all.
I want to say that's in our youth class, right?
What's that?
It's our youth class. First session.
Yes, there was definitely some in that session. It carried over to the adult session. The little session, I don't think is near as bad, but definitely some in the youth session. And then the adult session, it seemed like the adults anyway, it seemed like they would come in unless we have a physical person, which I know Kim jumped in at the beginning, just wave it and slow them down. But unless we have somebody there, they'll speed through it till they got to me at the end and then slow down. And I was trying not to be the bad Andy, but it's like, man, if everybody else can do it, I don't care if you're in the AA class or the first year,
Yeah.
Everybody's going to do it. So I'm still working on that. I don't know if I'm going to have radar, but I'll tell you, I'm honestly kind of sick of having to stand there and babysit, so we're going to come up with something, and you'll definitely see penalties for the ones that are making you stay there instead of out helping on the track, so, but we'll get that figured out. So,
yeah.
But outside of that, I don't think we hardly had one issue. We'll get the bad stuff out of the way, I guess, right away. We had a couple injuries, I think, with like thumbs. I remember a couple guys caught their thumb or jammed their thumb or stuff. But we did have a rider got transported. It was a shoulder. I got there. It appeared like maybe caught a tree, tipped it over, and fell on his shoulder. But Trace talked to him yesterday, and sounds like everything's going to be okay.
Good.
So, yeah, but that was the only one. One's enough for sure, but outside of that, I think it was a pretty good day. A lot of good racing. We did have a lot of, I don't know, I can't remember what everybody's issues were. It wasn't we've seen a couple tie rods. We've seen some flat tires. We've seen some flat systems that especially that day. And then afterwards on, social media saying that's how they finished is because they got run flats, So, but not a lot of major stuff. Trying to even remember really what all they were, but I know a couple bent tie rods. I don't know, I think maybe a couple rear what am I trying to say? Carrier bearings. I think went out, but didn't see a lot of flipped quads, damaged quads. Cale George, of course, it sounds like he broke about everything. He broke his plastics, lost some exhaust, and we're still looking. I haven't talked to Daryl, the hired hand down there, but we're looking for his billfold. So if anybody over in that area happened to find a billfold, it's definitely Cale's, but I think somebody would have let us know if they found it. So
yeah, looking at results, we got not a lot of DMFs, but there are some out there in the adult session. Kids were good. I think only one youth rider out of all the kids didn't make one lap. So at least everybody got around once.
But hey, if we back up a little bit,
yeah.
Sorry, I should have started there. The starts, the very beginning of the day with the youth.
Yep.
Man, oh man, they were getting after it for the first race of the year. It's like they'd all been practicing. I think I seen more taking off closer together than I ever have. Like they were on it. Like you can tell they've been practicing,
Mm-hmm.
And but getting through that first corner, the second corner where the whole shot was, man, I was so impressed with them right off the get-go. So many youth had moved up to new classes and stuff, and we had a lot of new riders. You just didn't really know what it was going to be like, and
yeah,
the first thing I noticed, no matter what, the whole day was when I went over there the first time, that the 90 classes are still huge.
I mean, when we were doing this, and and adding the third class this year, the third 90 stock class, we thought we had our numbers right. I'll be the first to admit it. The 90 stock 12 to 14 just didn't pan out. I think a lot of those kids jumped right to the 90 production, and that class is huge. 19 kids in 90 production. I don't think we've ever had that many kids in 90 production.
No, as soon as I seen that, I thought it was one of the biggest ones we've ever had too, for sure.
Oh.
But I think it was 77 kids in that first session.
Yep.
If I remember right.
Yep.
Yeah. Boy, that was huge.
Yeah, we broke the 100 mark again for the kids. So total kids participation. Lots of new faces.
Yep. And just so everybody knows too, we had our record ever. And this isn't since COVID. This is in 23 years. Our record for the youth was set last year, and that was 107. Do you know how many we had this time, Chris?
Oh, you're going to quiz me. Like 105 or so?
106.
106?
We were one off the record, first race of the year. So, yeah, that was pretty good. So, but yeah, I thought the kids did great for the most part. They slowed down, coming through that first session. I shouldn't say that because I think there was still way too many that didn't. I even had a conversation with the parents I tried to speak to the parents. I brought it up in front of everybody and I still noticed it. And it was when the kids are going through that chicane, and especially like right around the scoring. And obviously that's the easiest time to talk to them because they should be going the slowest. But I was telling them, it's like what you and I had talked about at the end of last year. It's like, the kids, we're telling them they got to be 5 miles an hour, but then the parents will go, 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 and so then they take off out of there. And it's kind of like, who do I listen to, but I'm trying to let the parents know that's probably not the good thing because they're going to be getting stopped for sure. And it's going to cost them. So try to get them, after that, maybe telling them to go and stuff, or let the kids know for sure that Like, but it's just too easy to take off when obviously mom and dad's encouraging, or anybody else for that fact, friends or whatever. So,
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think it went really well. I think the kids handled the track really well. I heard there was a lot of pushing down in the rocks, like some of the kids navigating through the rocks and stuff. And man, there was so many more rocks than they'll ever see. That guaranteed, Chris, they seen more rocks this time, okay, than they'll ever see the whole rest of the year. And talking with some of those kids, I think that's some of them are like, good, That's like, did you like the rocks? No. But the parents all like watch them navigate through it and how they got better each time. I heard a lot of that stuff. So, yeah. Hey, do you know if Shay Gilbelstein is watching?
I cannot tell.
I just got it up. It says Shay Gilbelstein is watching like 30 times. So I'm guessing she's watching.
Maybe.
I don't know what's going on. It's like all the comments is just her. So, but no, so I thought the kids did great. Then you go to the second session. It's a brand new kids, and well, they're as young as 4 years old, and man, they just did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
We said we'd talk about all this stuff, so I want to be open on every time. We did have one or two that had tether issues, and we had one or two that had chest protector issues. Lack of, I should say. That's a very
required, right?
Yes, as of this is the second year that's been required for youth. And honestly, I don't think I did a great job of pushing that and letting everybody know enough last year. But this year, I talked to everybody, so we should be good. But just a reminder to everybody, all youth has to have a chest protector 100% of the time. So, but yep. So
chest protector and a working tether attached to the racer.
Correct.
I know we've all seen that video last year going around off of a start. So, yep.
And I did talk to everybody. I didn't do it on the youth lines. There's so much, I don't have a cheat sheet or anything. I just go right off the top of my head every time. And I had some birthdays. I know at least one I forgot. I felt bad. They came up and told me, and then I turned around and I felt bad because I just completely spaced it because I started going to something else. But I did make sure the adults knew that, the new part of the AMA rule this year is, and you and I have talked about this before. It's like, do we stop them? Do we not stop them? We know it's got to be on when you start, but okay, what do we do during it? So we try to tell them, but we don't want to interfere with their race. But now this year that rule has changed, and that it's not just it must be hooked up when they take off, but anytime they are on that machine and moving, it must be on. And that means if we must stop them, we must stop them. So they just have to get into the deal of remembering that if I get bucked off or if I have to push or something and I unhook it, or whatever, then I've got to hook it back up before I leave, or they probably will get stopped. And there's nobody out there faster than our radios. So you know how that works. When we radio, 34 needs stopped. You don't have a tether, you will get stopped, what it reminds me of is we had that gal at the Heartland that year with she had been in and then went back out. Remember, she had the tank top on racing. And that's how fast our radios are. I went clear to the bottom to catch her. Obviously didn't want pictures out there with her doing that. She was so mad at me. She was yelling at me when I stopped her, and I'm like, hey, it's your fault. It's nobody else's responsibility except yours to make sure of it. She goes, I've been stopped 4 times now.
Oh.
I had no idea. Obviously she'd been stopped, 4 times, but that's how fast those radios get out there a lot. We can make sure you're getting stopped. So please don't push it to where we got to be doing that every time on the tether switches. So,
and we have some new awesome radios that, can travel, what was it? 1,200 miles from Iowa to Florida. We tested over the winter. So We'll bring those out next race as well.
Yep. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I thought all the starts on every class was good. We went over some of the rules. We went over some of the stuff going on. Wait a second. Let me back up here, Chris. You know what we did first at the lines?
Well, I heard there's something new.
We played what I've been dying to get through. Travis Troy built us the IATVHSS anthem song. And I had so many people come up and be like, who was singing that? Like, did you do that? Like, nope, you didn't want me to do either one of those because it came out very good. So I still can't thank him enough. I still don't know how he did it. I know that AI stuff is getting pretty cool, but my God, that thing was awesome, and so many people. I'll bet I've got at least a dozen messages now. So please don't think if you're watching that I'm just ignoring you. I just got to figure out how we're going to do it. And they were asking if we could send them that song, I need to talk to Travis or you or Zach or Sabrina and see if maybe we can't get that on the website, or something to where people can download it,
Yeah.
So
we'll talk with Zach, and I think Zach can make that happen, get it on the website.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Man, it was cool. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. It was really neat. So
now, did you play that song before every session?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Usually twice. We tried to start it like half hour before, and then we played it. It's like almost 5 minutes long. So we played it like back to back, and then we got started talking on rules and everything and stuff. So yeah, but outside of that, I think literally everything went well. The race itself, again, we didn't pull in. There was definitely people that got pulled in, but it was just little stuff for the most part, I just thought, man, that the weather was perfect for racing. I even got sunburnt. I didn't even realize it till that night. We stayed that night, and I went to pull off my sweatshirt, and I was like, oh, like my ears were all burnt and everything. And it's like, man, but what a difference from that first time, And before we go any further, I should have started at the very beginning. I know I've said that like half a dozen times now, but
yeah, one more thing.
Unbelievable. And some people have been like, you were praising that driveway like it was like a highway. And I'm like, you don't understand. It was like a highway compared to what it used to be. They did a lot of work there. They brought in a lot of rock. They went and chipped out a bunch of the big stuff where it used to be really rough, like coming out and coming into the downward play, I guess. But I was amazed. At the beginning, we got that half-inch of rain on Thursday night into Friday morning, and there was some edges of it got kind of soft there. But boy, as the sun came out, Friday and Saturday, when I took the tractor back to the neighbor on Sunday morning, I was running it right down where it used to be pretty soft and the ruts were, and man, it was perfect. So.
And people got to take in consideration. You got some big rocks coming in there.
Yeah.
And with it being wet and fresh gravel, every stop and go is creating a rut there. So some of it was a little bumpy, but it's going to happen when you have 50, 60 rigs coming in and out of there.
Yeah. No, I was real impressed, and I've heard, I was real impressed with what they're talking already about for next year too. What we're going to be doing to the making. They're talking about making a little place where you can get over. It's just a one way right now, but a little section where you can get over with the rig and stuff in case someone else is coming. So it's definitely headed in the right direction. So, but yeah. And of course, that was the first whole shots of the year. So everybody qualified for the whole shot is already getting ready for $3,000 purse for a whole shot challenge at the end of the year, Murray. So we've got 24 qualifiers. No, not 24. 14 and
14.
yeah, I think it is
14
20.
for adults.
Yeah. So already got some qualifiers. Not only that, but when we get the Pinland August 1st, that's how you're going to line up is by, everybody, how they finished, all the first rows will be as points, so first place in points will be first, fifth place will be fifth, taking the line. So a lot of stuff to work up to for the end of the year and the Pinland. So
now let's just clarify that's for adults only. So kids the 2 youth sessions will still have the normal starts.
correct. Yep.
So I just want to keep making sure that everybody's aware of that. Nobody gets the wrong idea. Because the kids are actually going to start in a different location, right? They're going to start.
They'll start at the track.
Yep.
Yep.
Versus downtown.
Yep. So, yep. I don't have a lot more on that. It's not concrete yet, but we go to Corden this weekend to make sure we're ready for the following weekend's race. And then the following weekend, I'm hoping to we can get a group down to Canesville to get our first real look at starting to figure out what we're going to have, get some details out there about the Canesville race. So, but yeah, back to the race. I just want to talk about the qualifying for the whole shot challenge. And then also remember the finish is how you're going to line up for the adults in Canesville. But outside of that, we fast forward to the adults. Once again, everybody amazed me. A lot of new quads, a lot of stuff's been done. But man, the whole shots, I mean, everybody was just ready except Joe Lutz. Dang it, Joe. Joe was talking about how we would, his new had it all set up to where like one kick or half a kick and it was starting. Well, I think it took 30 on the line. Unfortunately, he spotted people a lot, but I was hoping to see him get up there, but he lived up to his reputation of spotting people some territory. So,
I mean, yeah, it was a lot of first for being first race of the year. Looking through like results, a lot of first place. A lot of people with the first getting first place or winning the race. But yeah, I'm seeing Jenna Berg pull double duty and actually won both junior class and super mini. Congratulations.
Yeah,
that's tough. Hour and a half break in between, I think is what it is. So getting done with the youth, getting some rest during the minis, and then getting right back after it. But debut women's class and actually won it.
Yeah, she was hauling the mail.
Yeah, there's others. Jackson Carroll came away with the W.
I was trying to get to that youth ones. I'm not getting there. But you mentioned Jenna. 90 production. Yeah, 90 production you mentioned there with how big that class was. 19 of them on that 90 production. And probably the furthest traveled guy won it was Cade Tomlinson.
Yeah, and he got the whole shot, I believe. Got to see that start.
Yeah, he shot out of there. But yeah, top three was a pretty good battle. Second and third came through obviously right together at the end with Winbush and Mathis. So yeah, I think one of the biggest surprises there, not that he can't do it, but his first time in there was Coulter Smalley. It was his first time in moving up to 90 production and bringing home fourth. That was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That 70 production, it just seems like it doesn't grow. It seems like it stays right there every time. But the 90 stocks, I was super interested to see how they panned out with, how many people would be in there and stuff. And Cash Crees, I don't know. Is that his first win?
He's
been on the podium several times, but
possibly. But he also, I think, pulled double duty, if I remember right here.
Yep.
Because he also ran junior class, and I see a correction. Yes, Jenna Bird ran women's and super mini. I know I mentioned junior.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah. So then 90 stock, we just had our podcast there last week. Had Faulkner on here.
Yep.
Talking who he had to chase down, he thought, and boy, he knew exactly who it was. And
Wyatt
Stiles. There was no stopping Stiles. He got out there and he won it by just over a minute. So,
and actually, talking about Stiles, boys, Wesley won as well.
First time in the adult session, running 2 hours on the junior bike. So,
yeah.
And then 90 stock, the 8 to 9, Jackson Frericks out of Quincy, Illinois, won. And I want to say that was his first win too. But
I mean, looking at that young 90 stock class, any one of those top 10 kids, you could say, could win on any given day. So be kind of curious to see how that pans out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think it goes deeper than that. Guys that could have won. And
oh yeah, I see some other ones.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a box of chocolates all year long. You're not gonna know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you see how that one plays out. But yeah, so 50 production was kind of a surprise for me. That's a tough class now, and the stock, and now we have 50 limited. It used to be that 50 stock, you'd almost get tired, want to go a little bit faster, so you went 50 production. I think what we're seeing now is we have the 50 limited. Obviously, it's a big class, had 20 kids in it. 50 stock has kind of settled down now all of a sudden. So I don't know if they're just not finding Kimco's anymore or what's going on, but that was probably the smallest we've ever had of actual 50 stock class, I think.
Because if you look at that 90 stock 8 to 9, a lot of them were 50 stock last year, and they just aged up.
Yeah. So, Wyatt Goldsberry, was the only one in the 50 production that really shocked me. But obviously he ran good. 50 stock, Gavin Gasink, Gasink, Mathis, and Bowling up there on the podium. That's pretty stout, Again, I think either there's so many of them that could have won. It's, pretty interesting. So, and then the 50 limited, I didn't realize this till that night. And that was one of them. I think I said happy birthday to. I can't remember, but I know that was one of them. Eli Dalton. He won. Not only that, but I found out on his birthday, he got the whole shot and won. So that was pretty good. So, and then I can't remember the young man. Oh, there's so many stories that happened. I just can't remember everything, but there was one of the young men that I want to say it's Gray's boy, Gray Britton, maybe, but had a broken arm and couldn't have raced the first race, but because it was postponed, he was able to race and have fun. So
nice.
Yeah. But so we get to the adults then. Man, there were some battles there. Go right to that overall in the AA. Cade Vanderpool picking up the win at the Vanderpool Construction Trenton round 1. That was pretty cool. He had one of his best runs I've seen him in. Not that he doesn't always, but he just put it together from start to finish, and it just didn't seem like he ever let up, So Krug and Berg and Brandt, You know, our champ from last year, Kyle Jones, was 5th. That was some darn good racing. Once again, 15 people in that class. So that was a good turnout. And I know there's a couple there that couldn't be there on that one. So I think he has potential to even grow from there, really. A class with Voss, Sharp, and Dial. I know Dial was one of them that probably wish it hadn't been rescheduled. He had to jet right out before awards to get for prom. So I know we had several of those that had prom this weekend. So
yeah, that A class is stocked. You know, it's got, again, kind of like the youth. Any of that top 10 could win, or even the whole class. Wow, look at the whole class in general. That they're close and yeah, mixing it up.
Yeah. Then you got your open utility. Is that Jackson Carroll's first win with us?
Yes, I believe it was.
I think it is. Picked up his first win. So Joey Miklas right there behind him. Kevin Weedy, our champ from last year. Yeah, that class is stacked again. So that's a class that's always been a good one for us as far as competition wise.
Yep.
Let's see, plus 30.
Yeah, a mixed bag here, I would say.
And look at second and third. So Kyle Krupp won, and he must, I can't remember what happened. I think he either got bucked off or hit a tree or something, but he was helping us pull a couple of them out that Sunday or Saturday night. And he wasn't getting around too good. He was feeling it. He looked a lot better on Sunday morning, but he was definitely feeling it. But Cody Westcott, it's his first time back with us for, I'm not sure how many years, at least 4 or 5 probably. And pulling second and plus 30, and Zach Johnson coming back, pulling third. That's a big welcome back to those two. So
well, we've been corrected by Jackson Carroll won Cahokia last year.
Oh, he did. So picked up his second win. Gotcha. So let's go right down these real quick. B class, Colby Baker,
Justin Murphy,
Jason Malco.
Yeah.
And again, if you go down that's one we're talking about, 21 people in that class. And there's some people that's won races. There's some people that's won races before and just came back, you know. But man, there's a lot of names with a lot of experience in that class. Colby Baker, maybe people don't recognize Colby's name right away, but that's Brian Baker's son. Brian, kind of a folk hero in Missouri, and both him and his dad come back to race with us this year, and they both won. So he put on I didn't see the overalls where he finished there, but he had a really good showing in B class there. So plus 40. His dad won, Brian Baker.
Yeah.
Steve Jones. Looks like plus 40. I don't want to say that Missouri riders are getting old, but plus 40, it looked like was pretty much owned by Missouri. Well, we didn't even have an Iowa guy. Our first Iowa guy was 7th place. David Moline went Missouri, Wisconsin, Missouri. That's pretty good. A lot of experience down there. So Schoolboy, I think that's going to be one to watch this year. A couple of them guys, all of them's got the potential to, but man, Sonny and Kaysen just kind of separated themselves, you know. And them guys, boy, they were running super hard. Sonny picking up the win, but no surprise on either one of them moving up than what they could do for sure. And then plus 50, we got Chris Wyatt, which is no surprise there. He's pretty darn quick every time. And Mr. Thad Trump there coming in, runner up. Rob Davidak third, Jason Noble fourth. Phil Kilderman was fifth. It was so good to see Phil there. Yeah, it looks like Paul may have had a failure on the bike to kick him back there. Paul was telling me that hadn't been for the bike, he would have definitely beat Thad Trump. So
nice.
Those two have so much fun. It's fun watching them get each other. But yeah, Paul had some kind of an issue on his bike and wasn't able to finish the race. But so yeah, a lot of good. I guess that's not all of them though, is it?
No, because you still got your young C class.
I'm gonna let you take over.
Kelly Sauter, Cody Pierce. Cody's returned. Cody was gone for a while. Yep. And Hunter Trimble.
You know, you mentioned Kelly there real quick. I see a lot of them guys now. A lot of them are from down around Pleasantville and Melcher. And I see they've got a team put together now. I think it's 180th Avenue Motorsports. But I'm pretty 80th. Sure what's that?
I think it's 80th, right?
180th?
Just 80th.
Or just 80th, okay. I just happened to see a thing on social media about them, but I think every one of them that came up either got one or second. I mean, they had a really good show at that first race, so be interesting to see if they can keep that up. Go ahead, though.
Old C, Mike Goldsberry. So father, son both come away with the win. Jonathan Thomas and Connor Kelderman were top three. Utility class first.
Hey, really quick, look at second and third on that one. Their times.
Yeah, it was within 2 seconds. 2
seconds apart after 2 hours and 5 minutes. It just doesn't get any better than that. I love that. But all right, go ahead.
First time winner. We'll get this one right. It's first time on the machine and actually pulled out the W. Travis Troy. Devin Bowling second. Colby Romans third.
Well, did you see his bike? Afterwards, he took a hard hit.
Travis?
Yeah. There's going to be some Polaris parts sold this week. Sounds like he had a lot of fun, but just reading his little report, he had a lot of fun, but he found out you just can't fight the trees. The trees will win every time.
Oh, that's a tough lesson.
Yeah.
I've got some experience with that.
Yep. He might end up having to get a hold of Scott down there at Rob Cycle and get some parts because he's going to need a couple parts on that machine. Unfortunately, the first race of the year. So, but
even Colby Romans is out here as well, commenting that he's had to get some parts as well. So
get a hold of Scott down at Rob Cycle. And I know they're a sponsor, but they're got to be one of, if not the best Polaris dealer around. So Scott knows those. What are they?
Polaris.
Yeah, I can't even say the name. What is it?
Can-Ams?
No.
Not Travis on a Can-Am.
Not the Sportsman, but I can't even say what the Polaris machine is. But anyway, he knows them really well.
Yes. Oh, junior class, Wesley Stiles did not skip a beat coming off the 90 championship last year. As we mentioned previously, won junior class first time out. Oliver Yarrington, second place. He pulled double duty. I think he was our third double duty race in the morning or in the youth class and then also in junior class. And Trayton Akers rounds out top 3.
And again, 16 in that class. That was really cool.
Yeah. And I noticed with this class that a lot of them are 300s or have been 300s in the past. But when I was registering and kind of going through the pre-entries, we got a lot of Honda 250s this year in that class.
Yep. Chris, I think we're having some issues with your internet. You're freezing. Yeah, you're freezing up a lot.
I apologize. We'll fix that in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I just thought, it's just more scoring issues. I wasn't sure.
Probably.
But
it's MediaCom. But we'll transfer back over to Google Fiber in a few more weeks. Yeah.
So I know you talked a little bit about the women. That runner-up, we know Jenna real well. We know Bailey got 3rd. Runner-up, that Lily Pasco. Is that Lily's first time with us?
I believe so. I don't think I've seen that name and when they pre-registered.
During awards, when I seen that name, it caught me. I apologize if she has been here. I'm not good with names anyway, but it just hit me. And then I don't know if I've seen Rogersville, Missouri before either. So definitely welcome her if that was her first time. And obviously she did really well. So runner up there. So we've seen Bailey be fast several times. So running with those 2 girls is saying something.
Well, I think that whole the women's class has grown. So you kind of got mixture of veterans and we call them new blood a little bit.
Sure.
We'll be excited to see how that shakes out this year.
Yep. For sure. So, and I always say this, but I'll say it every time. I think my favorite class of the year is usually the 50 limited. Like, you know what I mean? Just the littlest guys and seeing them have fun no matter what place they get. They're smiling, But I always enjoy the 90 stocks because they're so close together in the first year. The first year is our future, and one of the most important classes and the very last class to take off. And Chris, I'm going down there pointing at them and I was blown away. It's like, that is a really good class, 16 of them in the first year class. So that was really nice. So, and I think the Tarrant Mount, that's one of our 80th Avenue teams I was talking about, one of them that won or got runner up. So yeah. But yeah, it's a quick run through of the awards. So
yeah. Good day.
I wanted to mention, I'd seen there was something on there about the Canesville race. Somebody had asked a question on there. Player Scrambler, that's what I couldn't think of. Gosh darn it. The Scrambler is what Scott knows so darn well. But somebody had mentioned something about the Canesville race. There will be a lot of stuff coming on the Canesville race here really shortly. And on that race, Chris, you and I have heard some stuff from people coming in from a ways back and or ways away. And that's kind of what we forget, because it's a normal points race for us. It's just a big one with some extra excitement and stuff in there. So, but we got a lot to talk about there, and we definitely will we will be doing that for sure. But we've just got, with the reschedule, it's got us really tight with only 2 weeks in between, so I'm sorry, really only, 2 weeks, 1 weekend in between. So
1 week.
Yeah, we got our, yeah, for sure. So, but man, yeah, nothing but good stuff. So
real quick, we should thank our sponsors. You already thanked the Vanderpools. I think we also need to go in and thank Tylube. So Chad Bottofer is right there at registration. Had lots of product with him this race. Answered lots of questions. I referred quite a few people over to him to ask some questions about his product. So as always, he's there. If you need race fuel, bring 5-gallon bucket or 5-gallon gas can and fill it up for $80. And I believe that's 110 is what he's got, if I remember right. Was that so?
Yeah. I got my filter oil from him this weekend. I'm glad to get that. So
Good.
Yeah, then obviously we talked about on the starting line, but Power Sports Share being back as a title sponsor this year. They're still fine tuning everything there, and we're going to have them on here pretty soon to talk more about that and let us know where they're at and what we can do to help them getting people signed up. So, yeah. We got the Zach Schrock gloves given away this weekend.
Yeah, who got those gloves?
Boy, maybe somebody can tell me. I'm so bad with names.
So it happened during the mini session, right?
Yes.
So,
Man, for the likes of me, I'm trying to think if. Oh, here, I got a picture of it. Number 40, I think that's Hilgenberg.
Hayes Hildenberg.
Yep. I'll have to get you a picture. Maybe we can put that on next time. But we did get a picture of it, of them two together. I want to get to the Schrock family and stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a good weekend. Good way to get the season started. Brand new track last year coming up for the second race at Corden. Two completely different sides. One really tight. One's a little faster. Some more open. Both of them just a heck of a lot of fun though. But it's like after that race last year, everybody was talking like two different worlds. Over there. So, but yeah, it'll be a good race.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week. Talk about Corden, kind of after you and the guys have had a chance to go down and take a look at it. See how much trimming you have to do on the west side, right? That was the tight side is the west side of the property, or is that backwards?
There'll definitely be some trimming, but I remember some shoulders getting. Shoulders on the shirts, jerseys getting ripped up, and that was all on the west side. So we got to find where those were and get those trimmed.
Well, and I think you're the one that trimmed the west side. So when you go and trim those trees, standing on your tippy toes, so it'll be normal height for everybody else.
Why are you saying this stuff, Chris?
I rode some of that west side, and you had to duck. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam's going to start it off. We'll talk about that next week, Adam. You mentioned if they're going to vote on which side at Corden was better.
Well, I don't see that being like a big competition myself, so we'll see. It might change thing on where the scoring is. Scoring will be flipped completely from where it was last year. So they'll be going up the hill in the pits instead of down the hill. That might make it a little easier to turn. So got a little slick down there at the bottom a little bit. So
yeah, well, and we still got to work out scoring to make sure that we have enough room for everything.
Yeah. Yep. So nope, should be good. So. Anything else on the race? I feel like we could talk about it all night long because it was even coming home and people asking me, at work and, just friends here at home, family, like how'd it go? It's like, I can't even put it into words. It was just such a good weekend. you know. And I got to say this, Chris, real quick. I got to say thank you to Jason Hostedler, the neighbor right across the street. Every year he's very, very generous. I know he's not on here listening by no means, but I just got to tell you what he said. This guy is a great businessman, just a great, great guy, great family. Okay. And man, it choked me up a little bit. Him and his daughter had brought the tractor over, the big one. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was running back home and we left and I see him shaking his head and he was just thinking, I could tell just the wheels are turning. And I said, what's that about? You know, or what's up? And he's like, I'm just sitting here noticing. He goes, there must have been 20 kids out there. You remember that with all the bicycles and, you know, riding and playing and there's frisbee. Yeah, there's just so much stuff going on. And he's like, man, he goes, just what a blessing it is to have this many parents, you know, involved with the kids, bringing them out to something like this. And he goes, when I see this is what he told me. And at first I was like, it kind of caught me off guard. And then I realized what he was saying. But he's like, just seeing all these kids and all these families tells me these kids have a chance. And I was like, what? He's like, of course, I'm thinking racing when he first said this, you know, and he's like, no, he goes, they actually got a chance in life. You know, they're not buried in, you know, telephones and computers and video games and stuff. They're out getting dirt underneath their nails. You know, they're getting scratches, you know, they're riding their bicycles or, you know, meeting people, knowing how to talk. And that's coming from somebody that's never at races, you know, never. And it was just cool to kind of see his first kind of take on things, you know, and he was absolutely right. You know, we talk about this all the time, that how special it is, truly what makes the series what it is, having the parents and the kids out there spending time racing together, you know, it's amazing, you know, so.
Yeah. All those kids Saturday night. Or Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, going through those mud puddles up where everything was at, scoring and the awards. I was trying to get one of them to do a mud angel, and nobody would take my offer up.
Huh.
They're riding those bikes through that puddle, though. So.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah.
So. What else we got?
I got
we're over your time limit.
Yes, we are.
So I know you were dying to do this, okay? And I mentioned everybody at the awards we were going to do this. So I am going to do it, Chris. No arguing, no talking me down.
Okay.
It's very important for me this year to do something called the penalty box. And the penalty box, as you know, we have issues that happen during races and we handle it, but I've never been very good at actually putting it out there and talking about what has happened, you know? And I think it's so important to be transparent on stuff that's happened. So one, people understand how it was dealt with and everything else. And, you know, and we're not just, you know, sliding stuff under the carpet, so to speak. So we had an issue this time. A video is presented to me. I didn't get home in time to get you the video, or else we would have played the video. But the video clearly showed going through the timber instead of staying on the track. I'm just kind of summing it all up real quick. It showed the arrows turning and the individual went straight and went through that. So the natural thing with that is, we've always told people, if someone just comes up and tells me that happened, no offense to anybody, but I can't go with that, you know, or else everybody would be penalized. It's always said that either our guys or video proof in order for us to do something. This time there was video. When the video was presented to me, it wasn't that somebody did something wrong. It was questioning if this is okay, you know? So what I did right away is we started calling the committee. We had 4 of the 5 was at the race. The other one couldn't make the rescheduled. We got them all together. I didn't really say much to them because I wanted them obviously not to be my input. I want them to make up their own, decisions. We showed them the video multiple times, and then Paul Cirque led them down to where it took place. They went down there. Long story short, they marked it off, and I guess it was 24 feet is where they got off track. So the committee is completely, I'm not saying we won't get involved in it sometimes, but we don't want to. The committee approved it, saying that they thought in that situation that it was fine, that there wasn't 25 feet off of the track. So everything was case closed. It was awarded, that under this circumstance, it was good. There might be difference of opinions there, but we stated we were going to do something, and that's what we did. We went to the committee. We let the riders, it's a committee based off of riders, and they made the decision off of it. It's kind of setting the precedent, from what's okay and what's not. Same as last year, we had an issue at Trenton, so they did absolutely nothing wrong, whether you agree with it, whether I agree with it or disagree. It doesn't make any difference. That's what the committee is there for, and they did a good job. And I can tell you there was some discussion there. I wasn't there, but talking to a few of them, there was definitely a discussion. It's not like it was, yep, we're good, and done. There was some definite deep consideration and conversation, and it ended up passing. I'm not sure how it passed as far as how many did what, but they said that it was good. I can tell you now off the record, that's it with the penalty box. Okay. But I've already talked to the track crew. I don't want that stuff to be the norm. So there is stuff that I think you're going to be seeing probably a little bit more of now, to create that. So that's not happening. But that's stuff that we can deal with on the track crew. So we will take that into consideration when laying out tracks. And I think we'll have more of a definite whether that's legal or not, even going into the conversation. So, but the committee did a great job. They did exactly, what it was set up for. So that was the only situation like that we had all day. We did have one other issue that was kind of worked out itself. And I want to bring this one up because it's very important. That happened in the youth race, coming into scoring. There was contact made. We don't know which one made the contact. I'll be very, very honest here. We had 3 individuals that told me one thing. I was prepared to make a change in the running order based off of what those individuals had said, but because of what I do, I don't take it off of just somebody saying it. We only seen part of it when they came in. I got both the riders together and talked to them, and neither one of the riders wanted to say there was no definite answer from either one of them. So the running order stayed the same. On that situation, there was really no protest or no, anything like that, but we just kind of get the 2 riders together and figure it out. But the bad part of that is we cannot be having contact after when you come through those cones. So if you're that guy or gal that runs up to the cones and slams on the brakes, and slides and hits somebody, then you will be the one penalized. You're supposed to be under control when you come in through those cones 100% of the time. So we had one, we seen the adult, he'll probably be mad at me for saying something. I can't remember who it was now, but had ran over one of the cones. I think he just had a brain fart or something, I think it was his thumb. He was having trouble steering, but we seen that happen. Obviously we could tell that it wasn't like somebody, was giving them water or something, they just literally something happened and got into the cones coming through scoring, but it wasn't an obvious big mistake. It was, and he talked to me afterwards about it. So all good there for the most part. I think it was pretty good, but we really only had one situation, and the committee took care of that. And then the other one was just a thing with a discussion between me and the two riders. So
good.
Outside of that, that's really it for, I hope we never have to talk about the penalty box, but it's going to be talked about for sure. So, and we might, like I said, we might even play that video next week so people can see exactly what we were talking about. So,
yep. Never want to see those during the race, but the only other thing I really had is thinking track crew. I know, those guys ended up. We've got some additions this year, quite a few additions that are making impacts. But got to thank everybody. Like, man, we have some crew. It's a lot to put everything up, and then a lot to tear down. And the tear down is done within usually a few hours after the race, but. God, the start was torn down, I think, within a half hour after the start. That was amazing how, the true track crew puts it all together, and can't thank everybody enough.
So really quick, while you're talking about that, let's just be clear on that, okay? Because nobody really set anything up the first race. Paul and I was the only ones that were down there. We had Adam Ratliff and Dean Hansen and I. It was just such a work day. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but holy cow. I mean, them guys couldn't hardly walk when we got done working that day. So it was really, really hard day. It was hottest day down there, I think, so far this year. But then we get ready for the race. Paul Sirk, always one of the first ones there. I'm not trying to pull any strings here, but obviously I beat him there this year, which is kind of rare. I just want to get that out there. I did beat him there, but that is very rare. But Joe Moeller, Paul Sirk, Dean Hansen's a new one this year with us, Mike Smalley, Brad came down on Friday. Gosh, I think I'm probably missing somebody else. I feel bad. But them guys busted butt on that track. Not only that, but remember, we were getting rain Thursday night. Into Friday morning, we knew it. So they collectively made the decision to not aero very much on Thursday. So we went through that whole track on Thursday, working it top to bottom, putting laugh out and stuff, trying to make it as short as we could for Friday. But they went back and basically aeroed everything on Friday morning. And so they really did a great job always. But you mentioned it, and I'm with you there 100%. After the race, the Joe Lutz family, Dustin and Morgan and Melinda, and them guys just rock it every time. You're exactly right. When we just got done with the start of the last race, I seen them already picking stuff up immediately. And it's amazing. When we got done, you're right, pretty much everything was picked up thanks to them guys. And they do it every time. We can't thank them enough. I think maybe it even gets started even quicker if, Joe could do his part and get off the line quicker. He's delaying it maybe. So, but
I mean, good.
Everybody, did a great job. You guys afterwards helping pick up and load trailers and stuff, it's everybody's so appreciated for everything that they do for sure. So
takes a village.
Yes, it does.
All right.
And I also got to thank Tina, obviously all the registration girls, but really got to thank Tina for being there early to help. My mother-in-law had ankle surgery. Bless her heart. We had so many people ask, like, where's she at? Because they missed her being there. And then, with her she always gives dog treats out to the dogs and everything. So a lot of people miss that, but thank Tina for definitely being there early and kind of picking that up for us. Ricky Cirque, helping there. Melinda Lutz, being there early Saturday morning to help out at the gate and stuff. So you said it, it's unbelievable how many people it takes. And I almost hate to drop names because I always forget names, and it's just thank you to everybody. The race itself was like picture perfect. I think it really was. The starts, everything, but I would have probably not even mentioned this had you not. So thank you, Chris. I'm giving you credit this time, okay? But it's just amazing. Like if one person's gone, everybody picks it up, and it's truly like a fine oiled, machine. It's amazing that everybody kind of knows what they need to do. And if somebody's not there, it's like they pick it up. And, I think people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes because it does. I hate to say this, but it does look smooth. And we know it's not behind the scenes. So it's really cool. So I'm proud of everybody. So thanks for definitely, pointing that out. So.
Yep. Oh, one more thing. I gotta be nice to you. Yeah, I have to thank you too. So can't give you too much props, and we're spending too much time on it. But thanks for getting the scoring tent set up for me. I'm expecting that for the rest of the year. So
once again, Joe Lutz had a lot to do with that too. So.
Other than that, I know that I forgot personally to. We got a message here, but need to give a shout out to Piper and Rick Pippin on their birth of their baby girl Kinsley. So I forgot to mention that last week. Sorry, I know it was out there. I know we don't write things down and go off the cuff. We always forget things. So wanted to give that shout out.
Are you getting used to that?
Oh man, no, it's driving me crazy. Because if you were to look, I have notes everywhere. Yeah, going off the cuff is not my thing. So if you guys need printed signage to get to the track or any other signage, let me and my wife know. Okay.
Appreciate that. Yeah. And the GPS did send people. It's so weird. Every year we have about a half a dozen people that get sent clear to the north side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to mention any names because I hate to see it happen to anybody, but definitely Joe Lutz for sure got sent over there.
Oh.
So, but yeah, he was telling me I'm in a Coon Creek church, wherever this is. So I just happen to remember it was one of her track guys, or maybe some other people in the past have ended up there for some reason. Mine always takes me literally right to the track. It's never taken me, but maybe it's the way I come in. I go down 65, so I don't know if that's part of it, but yeah, that's good to know. I appreciate that, Connor. That's great. So
yeah, I came down the interstate and it took me right where I needed to go. Google Maps is what I use.
I wonder if I'm not making fun of them, but I wonder if there's a difference between iPhone and Android when it comes to, like the different maps. I'm no good with that stuff, obviously, but I wonder if some of the maps kind of treat something to where we need something like for Android and one for Apple, or something. I don't know. I have to get somebody smarter than I am with that to ask that question too. But I guess we got to go to Zach, huh?
Yeah.
Speaking of Zach, there's one person that we didn't mention. That's Sabrina. I think she absolutely rocked it this weekend. I seen some of her pictures. I just looking at them today.
Mm-hmm.
She came up with this package deal, and I heard a lot of people on Saturday night, Sunday talking about that. I think there's going to be more people jump on board with that, but it only makes sense. It gives her like the ones to really watch for, that know that wants the photos. And man, I was talking with her the other day and I said, don't take this wrong, but from when she first came in to now, I mean, and I think that's when you can say that about anybody, myself, you, anybody, look at yourself. I mean, every year the scoring continues to get better, but obviously we didn't start out the top, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, as we get better, same with our pictures and just the stuff and talking with her, I think the biggest thing about her is knowing where to go, where to get the pictures, knowing the lighting, stuff like that, and she's just really, I know she got a new lens for this one. But she is the official photographer of the Iowa series for a reason, and we can't thank her enough. But man, some of them photos I seen today was pretty darn cool. So,
yeah.
But yeah, unless you've got one more thing, I was trying to hold you to I think we're right at an hour when you said one more thing, so.
Well, the tracker guys will know what I mean by one more thing. One more thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
No, I don't have anything else. I mean, we get to this weekend to recuperate. I mean, there's some stuff behind the scenes I'm gonna try to get done. Yeah, but we'll get right back at it with a preview of round 2 next week.
Yep. And then in between our second and third round is where we have that gap. I just want to be clear. Canesville with the Pinland. I'm excited for them trophies to get here. I think it was sometime in June where they're supposed to be here. I'm so excited to see them, but that's where we're really going to define all the details on that stuff and get a ton of stuff out. We are working on some pretty cool stuff, but I know one questions came up there, Chris. Just one more thing is, again, we know that there's parking and all of them, but we have a lot of people coming in from a long ways away. And just to be clear, and we'll get some stuff out. I know that all them people aren't watching on the podcast all the time, but there's definitely parking there. We have a huge area for camping and everything. And so camping will definitely be, matter of fact, if there's any race that you're going to camp at this year, I highly encourage you to do it at Canesville because of all the fun stuff we're going to have on Friday night. So, but yeah, so definitely camping, fun stuff. I think we're going to have 3 different food vendors there. So there'll be all kinds of stuff going on, but we'll have all these details coming out. We're pretty tight between the 2 races this time. So
we are tight. We got lots of things. It's going to start picking up and we're going to be, one race to the next. We've got the state fair coming up as well. Yeah. So we'll start shifting gears, and I believe that pre-registration's open for that. So we are going to do a cutoff. I'm going to flip the switch on you. I don't know if I've talked to you about this yet, Andy, but we're going to have a hard cutoff for state fair this year.
That's fine with me.
I mean, we'll figure out what that number is, but we got to keep it under control. Can't because of the way we do the scoring, it's all done by hand, and to keep the show moving along, we got to limit some of that stuff.
One more thing. Since you brought up state fair, it's ironic that today I just had one of our racers reach out and ask me if 100% we were doing the state fair race. So people are already thinking about it. But here's the thing. I have nothing against TT or motocross or anything like that. But I always get that one thing people complain about. It's like, well, I'm not I'm a cross country racer. I'm not a TT guy, or I'm not a motocross guy. You know what I mean? Flat track guy. And these guys have all these setups. Yeah, we allow any setup coming in. You can race whatever you want, during this. But man, I'll tell you what, I was so proud of our cross country racers. Above anything, it's like they outshine, and I'm not afraid to say this, almost any other discipline, because they're used to everything. We hit the jumps, we hit everything, we hit the sand, we hit the rough stuff. When it started raining, it was like schools in session for their cross country guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were leading it. They were, having class. But with that being said, for the guys that don't want a TT guy in there, all fully set up, which I have no problem with them being there. I want them there. The circle track guys, the TT guys, the motocross guys, whatever it might be. There's one little secret that can eliminate that, Chris. We announced to our people, our series, very first at the banquet when it was going to be. I'm pretty sure registration is open. You realize if we go back and look at that B class that we just had this weekend, not even every one of them could sign up. There would be 5 people left out of that because we're only taking 16 people, correct?
15 normally.
15? I thought we moved it to 16, so it was 8 and 8 on the heats. Whatever it might be, we'll get that. But what I'm getting at is if every one of those B class guys signed up, there would only be cross country guys in there. There's a $10,000 purse for just ATVs. You do not hear of that. Okay. On a short course like this, it's mainly a TT, but if every one of our people that were there last weekend, even the AA, if they were all to go and sign up tonight, all of that $10,000 purse would be shared within our series. You realize that?
Yeah.
They could lock everybody. The only time we don't do that is on the youth divisions. You know what I mean? The youth, we've allowed 20 people in there and stuff. So, but yeah, if they went and signed up, that $10,000 is staying within the series, our riders. So, but again, I'm not saying that to eliminate any of those because last year that AA race with McGill and Shorty and oh boy, I can't think of his name now. From over in Western Iowa, they put on that show at the that was one for the books, So I love seeing the different disciplines go at it. It's amazing. So anyway, we'll get more to that, but that is August 15th. So. All right. You almost made it. You've made it over an hour and a half now, Chris. So.
All right. Glad I could help with that. I mean, so much to talk about to fit in and get in and get the information out to everybody. Sometimes it goes over. We try to limit to that hour, but once I get you started talking, it's one more thing.
So next week will be a preview for
round 2.
Yep. We won't be able to slide too much in there, but I know we'll have at least one guest on next week. The following week will be obviously going back over that race. But I know we're going to have one special guest on there that week. We're going to start dropping some stuff about the Pinland. We'll have a couple very special guests on talking about the Pinland. So we got a lot of stuff coming up, and that's not to mention that we go into a little stretch there where we have Mount Pleasant, Cahokia, and then the Pinland. After next weekend, Chris, the Pinland's in 3 races. That's crazy.
I believe.
Yeah. So we have the Pinland, and then we have $10,000 purse 2 weeks later. There's a lot going on that feel like tomorrow, it's going to seem like tomorrow or next week, we're going to be on here like, where did the summer go? So,
yeah.
But at least we got some great families, some great racers, friends and families, the whole track crew. If the summer goes by fast, it's because we're enjoying and having fun together. So I'm all for that.
And we'll return to our regular Tuesday next week. That seems to be the day that works best for both of us most of the time.
Yep.
We'll see everybody next Tuesday. Thanks for staying tuned, and we'll see you in a short week and a half. That's crazy.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.